Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Believers IAS Academy, Bengaluru. This is the everyday news analysis. Today, I will be discussing 4 to 5 articles which I found to be important from various newspapers. First one is democratizing artificial intelligence needs a radical different approach. Okay, this was a editorial provided in the Hindu article. It talks about how the AI regulation should move forward. So we'll understand what is given in this article. So policymakers globally are addressing big tech's dominance in AI by investing in sovereign cloud infrastructure, open data platforms, and supporting startups. Yet these measures may inadvertently reinforce big tech's control. So, in order to reduce the big tech companies' control over artificial intelligence and its resources, many countries are focusing on cloud infrastructure, which is maintained by the government, that is sovereign, and open data platforms, and supporting startups. But this can have a negative impacts because it may end up providing bigger control to like big tech companies. We'll understand why. Before that, we'll just have a brief discussion about what is artificial intelligence. Okay, so artificial intelligence is a field of computer science that focuses on the creation of intelligent machines that can perform tasks that typically require human intelligence, like visual perception, speech recognition, and language translation. Okay, so here what it is doing is it is teaching the machines. Okay, teaching the machines. Artificial intelligence, in like simpler words, is that artificially creating the intelligent machines, meaning it will have the capacity to work similar to human beings. Okay, that is what it enables computer to learn from experience, adjust to the new inputs, and perform like human like tasks. Okay, that is artificial intelligence. Within artificial intelligence there are various levels. So the basic level is artificial intelligence, that is any technique that enables machines to solve a task in a way human beings do. Second one is machine learning. In machine learning, there are algorithms that allow the computers to learn, for examples, without being explicitly programmed. In artificial intelligence, you have to provide the input, complete input, what you wanted to achieve. And in machine learning, you don't need to program it completely. Okay, in machine learning, you don't need to program it completely. Here, it will learn from the data provided and it will try to adjust to the request. And then there is artificial neural networks. A neural network is similar to brain-inspired machine learning models. Okay, in simpler terms, artificial intelligence is if this is the user interface and if this is the input provided and if this is the output, there are different layers. Okay, so this is the input and this is the output. For example, you are asking about weather. So for weather, there can be different words, weather or how hot it is it going to rain, okay, anything related to weather. So it is going to understand that you are basically asking about weather. So there will be different layers. First it will understand whether what you are asking, whether weather, hotness or humidity or anything, etc. Okay, these belong to similar thing, that is weather. So then it is going to give you an output. The output here is what is the temperature of the day, or is it going to rain today, or other things. So this is the first layer of artificial intelligence. If this layers increases, okay, if these layers increases and you are going to provide the input and this is the output, and here the input is about again weather example. Here the data is going to analyze weather, explicitly weather things, okay, humidity, hotness, etc., and it is going to report it to different layers. It is going to pass through different layers. It is going to access more information compared to what the normal AI is going to give you. Okay, this is machine learning. Here what happens is it will be trained on the basic data. The data will be provided within this within the model, and it is going to collect the data. Based on the data, it is going to give you the like answer. And in artificial neural network, what happens here is the brain, in our brain there is a connection between electronic signals. Okay, our brain neurons, it act based on the electronic impulses. Here in the beginning there are only one layer of data and one layer of perceptions, and here the connection is so that it can move back and front, and it can access different type of data. This is similar to brain network, how the brain is going to work. It is able to think for itself. Okay, it will think on itself and then going to give you the answer. And then there is deep learning. It is the subset of machine learning. In machine learning there will be certain data. Based on the data, machine is going to learn and answer this one. In deep learning, it is subset of machine learning. It uses deep artificial neural network. Okay, a machine with the help of artificial intelligence is known as machine learning. A machine which is inculcated with artificial neural network, that is known as deep learning. Okay, meaning the level of complex data, the level of complex task that can be achieved goes on increasing from artificial intelligence to deep learning. Here it uses neural network models and automatically builds a hierarchy of data and representations. And within deep learning you have this open learning or generative AI. So OpenAI developed ChatGPT. That ChatGPT is an example of generative AI. Generative AI. What is generative AI? So within that AI, there are multiple sets of data which is included in the AI. Okay, if you ask it a question, okay, the question is whether and what are the factors that include, what are the factors that are going to affect weather. So here the data or the input you are giving is what is weather and its requirements. I mean, what are the factors impacting. But the in artificial intelligence, especially generative AI, it has certain complete set of data which are already provided. So it is going to access it. Okay, what the person is asking from me, and it is going to access the data. Then it is going to generate an answer. Okay, so that is generative AIs. So this is artificial intelligence. So why it is important to democratize artificial intelligence? Then how you can ensure AI is implemented in a way that it upholds democratic values. First you will understand why, how, then you will understand why. So it promotes open data initiatives. That is, while open data can enhance AI systems, it must be safeguarded against commercial capture by larger entities. Okay, for an artificial intelligence to work, first you need a data. If the data is open, meaning it is accessible to everyone, it is going to benefit everyone. If this data is patented or if this data is acquired by commercial companies, then even to access those data, the company has to pay certain amounts. Okay, recently there was a new generative AI developed which was called as Gemini Ultra. Okay, there is data, certain data is open, certain data is closed. In order to develop the complete AI based on the big tech, okay, based on big data, it had to spend around 200 million to train. Okay, it had 200 millions to train. Okay, if this amount $200 million, it is possible only for the big tech companies and it is not possible for the smaller countries. So we should safeguard the data so that it can be accessible to everyone. Okay, and then you should invest in public computer infrastructure. Establishing public computing resources can provide alternatives to private cloud services dominated by big tech. However, these resources must be competitive in terms of cost and functionality to be effective. Okay, normally these cloud services are dominated by private companies. Example, Apple, Google, Microsoft, etc. have their own cloud services which they offer initially for the free and then they are going to charge you. These cloud services should be instead provided by the public, that is government. It should be at a nominal price so that it becomes competitive. And then it should foster smaller AI models. Presently, what is happening is most of the people are focusing on large scale, okay, large scale AI models. Large scale AI models built on deep learning. Okay, built on deep learning. But not every task requires AI which is built on deep learning. There are certain tasks which can be just done by AI, normal AI or normal machine learning. So we should focus on smaller AI models. Those are smaller theory-driven AI models that can democratize development. Developing smaller AI doesn't require huge amount. So if it doesn't require huge amount, smaller companies can easily access and start their own models. So this approach emphasizes domain expertise and lived experiences over sheer data volume, which aligns with the democratic values, meaning it will be accessible to more number of people. And then, what role should the public participation play? Okay, what should be the role of government? It should focus on engaging in policy development, meaning it should involve diverse stakeholders, including community representatives and industry experts, and can help create policies that reflect a broader range of interests and concerns regarding AI development. So it should be based on consensus based, and it should be involving stakeholders, which is a which is similar to democracy. and it should follow transparency and accountability, meaning the mechanisms should be established to ensure transparency in AI decision making processes. The public oversight can hold organizations accountable for their AI practices, particularly regarding the data usage and algorithm biases. Okay, these biases, okay, it shouldn't be benefiting certain section of the community, and it shouldn't be harming certain section of the community. If there are practices which are found to be favoring the bias, then those kind of companies which are following those kind of AI should be punished by the government. And then community central AI solutions, the solutions from community like AI. Okay, what is AI? Artificial intelligence which is proven to do certain tasks and provide certain solutions. Those solutions should be such that it should focus on community, meaning it should encourage local communities to participate in the design and implementation of AI solutions and can lead to more equitable outcomes. The involvement ensures that AI applications address specific community needs rather than serving the corporate interests alone. Okay, so the AI should be such that it should also focus on issues which are which are faced by the common citizenship, okay, common citizenry. Then, what are the risks associated with the technocratic governance? Okay, why government, or what was the risk associated if the government is involving in more regulations of AI and technologies? So concentration of power, the concentration of power, that is the dominance of big companies, big tech companies can lead to a concentration of power where few entities dictate the terms of AI development and deployment. This scenario risks sidelining small players and reducing the diversity in innovation. And presently, this is what is happening. Big companies such as Apple, Facebook or Meta, Amazon, and like Twitter or X, Elon Musk companies, these are dominating the like global market, and they are using anti-competitive measures so that they can kill off the competition. If they are allowed to access all of this power in AI, then they are going to sideline the smaller companies. Okay, the OpenAI company was started by Josh Swindon, something I forgot his name. He started it. He didn't have any basic he didn't have any like bigger tech company for supporting him initially. He developed it, and later Meta, that is Facebook, started supporting him. Okay, he supported that because big companies were not yet completely involved in the AI. But now, if the big companies are involved in AI, then it becomes difficult for these smaller players to access it. And it should focus on surveillance and privacy concerns. The use of AI for surveillance by powerful cooperation can threaten the individual privacy rights. So policymakers must carefully consider implications of deploying AI technologies that could exacerbate existing inequalities or infringe on the civil liberties. Okay, so the AI, if the AI is under big tech companies, there is every chance that the big tech companies can use the AI to access the privacy rights. Okay, so we should focus on protecting the privacy rights, and we should focus on so such that the use of this AI doesn't result in increasing the existing inequalities. And then you should also there is a chance of erosion of public trust. If the public perceives that AI governance is primarily driven by technocratic elites such as big tech companies without adequate input from the citizens, trust in these systems may erode. Okay, and distrust can hinder the effective implementation of AI technologies that could otherwise benefit the society. And then way forward should be, we should focus on establishing a inclusive AI governance, create multi-stakeholder framework involving the governments, communities, smaller players, etc. We should prioritize ethical small-scale AI development. Okay, so it should be such that it should be inclusive and it should be democratic, so that the benefits arising out of this is accrued to everyone. Okay, next the second article is it was presented in Business Standard, that is Argentina considers leaving the Paris Agreement. Okay, we'll understand what is Paris Agreement, what will be the implications. So Argentina's president, this is Javier Milei, who is a very rightist president, has considered withdrawing from the Paris Agreement following the government's decision to pull negotiations from the COP29 climate summit. If you listen to today's international relations previous year newspaper analysis, I have explained about the crisis which Argentina was facing. Okay, when the crisis, Argentina was facing economic crisis, in the new elections, he was the person who got elected. So he is taking up certain actions so that his country comes out of this recession kind of thing. So the review coincides with the president-elect Donald Trump's plan to exit the accord for the second time, raising concerns over the future of global efforts to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Okay, so Okay, just a moment. Okay, so these are the issues. So we'll understand what is Paris Climate Agreement and then we'll understand issues. So Paris Agreement, it was adopted in 2015 December during the COP21 summit in Paris under UNFCCC, seeks to unite nations in combating the climate change and adopting impacts. The agreement requires member nations to submit and update their nationally determined contributions, which are voluntary in nature, and they should try to achieve those NDCs. Aim is limit the global warming to 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial level, and with the efforts to limit the increase to 1.5 degrees Celsius. So enhance adaptive capacity, meaning strengthen the adaptation capabilities of developing and least developing countries to climate change, and for financial support to developing and least developing countries about $100 billion annually by 2020 to assist developing countries in climate action. Achievements is, so it has achieved broad participation over 190 countries, including major emitters like China, USA, EU have joined the agreement. Global commitments, countries submitted national determined contributions outlining their climate actions, and many countries have achieved it also. For example, our own India, it have achieved certain like NDCs, national determined contributions, which it outlined during 2015, such as achieving its achieving uh, 33% reduction in non-fossil fuel based energy sources. Okay, 40% reduction in green energy, 40% increase in green energy, etc., etc. And then process of okay, if you want to withdraw from Paris Agreement, you have to follow the process. That is, there is a provision, that is Article 21, that deals with withdrawal. So conditions are, a country can withdraw 3 years after the agreement's entry into the force for that particular country, and withdrawal requires written notification to the UN depository. Okay, if you already agreed to the Paris Climate Agreement, you can only withdraw after 3 years. Procedural requirements: the withdrawal notifications must be submitted to the Office of Legal Affairs at UN headquarters. These are not equal required for us. Okay, so Argentina is considering leaving the treaty. What is the impact? So President view is that he is still considering, and reasons behind this removal withdrawal from Paris Climate Agreement is mainly the President Milei. Okay, the President Milei, that is President of Argentina, considers climate change as a socialist lie. Okay, many of the world leaders, rightist world leaders, consider climate change to be just a hoax created by the left wing. Okay, hoax. There is no such thing as climate change. Climate change has been happening since the ages, so it is a natural phenomena. This is what many of the rightist presidents feel. This is the similar view of Donald Trump also. That is why he initially withdrew from Paris Agreement. And then government stance on climate change. Argentina says that does not deny climate change, but attributes it to natural cycles. Okay, it is natural cycles rather than human activities, framing the debate as a philosophical issue. And the government supports taking measures to mitigate the efforts of climate change despite differing views on its causes. That is different. And then what will be the potential impact of Argentina withdrawing from the Paris Agreement is that there are global concerns. Okay, it could have a domino effect, meaning seeing Argentina's exit from Paris withdrawal, many countries who have the similar opinion about climate change can also follow the trend, and they can also exit from the climate change. This would jeopardize the global climate goals, which requires 42% reduction emissions by 2030 and 57 by 2035 to limit the warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. And then Argentina's role in climate change policies. It is the South America's second largest economy and 24th largest greenhouse emitter. So if such a large player is exiting the greenhouse gas climate change, many might follow this one. And it also holds substantial fossil fuel reserves, including second largest shale gas and fourth largest shale oil reserves globally. And economic and diplomatic risks are: withdrawal could isolate Argentina on the global stage. This is negative for Argentina. Countries like European Union are introducing climate-related import duties, making the Argentine less attractive as trading partner. Okay, carbon CBAM, carbon border management system, right? CBAM, carbon border adjustment system by European Union. That is, it is a taxation facility where if you are producing, if your product is the result of or larger emission from greenhouse gases, then you will be put to more tariff in the European market. So that is CBM. We will discuss another time. And then domestic challenges to withdrawal. So domestic opposition may hinder president's ability to withdraw from the treaty. So parliamentary approval is required for withdrawal, as all international policies ratified by Argentina hold constitutional status. Okay, it is for Argentina. So the main point to be noted here is this could have a domino effect that many countries can follow this one. So this is about Argentina trying to withdraw, and there is a small article about Meerkat radio telescope. But we will understand what is Meerkat radio telescope. So an international team of astronomers has employed the Meerkat radio telescope to investigate giant radio galaxies in the field of the cosmological evolution survey. So that is cosmos. So what is Meerkat? This is how this Meerkat telescope looks like. Radio telescope. It is not a single telescope. It is a ground station. These are all together work as a telescope. So Meerkat is connected by an array of radio telescopes located in the northern Cape province of South Africa. Okay, so it is present in South Africa. It was originally called as Karoo Array Telescope, which considered 23 receptors, but South African government renamed it to Meerkat, meaning more of the cat, when they increased from the 20 to 64 receptors. Okay, it is a part of South Africa's contribution to Global Square Kilometer Array project, which aims to build the largest and most sensitive radio telescope in the world. So it is a precursor to the instrument of mid-frequency component called a square kilometer array. So square kilometer array has been replaced by this one. So it uses radio signals from space to study the evolution of universe and everything it contains. So it comprises of 64 dishes with 13.5 inch diameter. That is not necessary. It received signals to travel to subterranean process building that combines them and allows the telescope to work together as a single instrument. Okay, all those receptors, all those telescopes together constitute a single telescope. They will use the lasers and the signals together to achieve small, like a single image in their head, not in the head, image in the instrument. So it currently is the most powerful radio interferometer at the centimeter wavelengths. Okay, this is important. Most powerful radio interferometer at the centimeter wavelengths. Okay, what is the centimeter wavelengths? It is accessing or it is analyzing the images at the centimeter wavelengths. There are certain telescopes which analyze at the millimeter wavelengths. So they are more powerful ones. There are different millimeter wavelengths. So this is about Meerkat. And then third one is, there is an article in the Hindu or Business Standard, that is strategic necessity to enhance domestic coking coal production in India. You will understand why it is in use. So recently, Niti Aayog reported enhancing domestic coking coal availability to reduce the import of coking coal. Outlines measure to reduce the import dependency and strengthen domestic production. So first you'll understand what is coking coal and what is the status in India, what are the issues, recommendations of Niti Aayog. So what is coking coal? It is also known as a metallurgical coal, which is a naturally occurring sedimentary rock found within the earth's crust. It is a type of bituminous coal. It typically contains more carbon, less ash and less moisture than the normal thermal coal, which is used for electricity generation. Okay, so it is a vital raw material for steel production. About 42% of the steel cost, constituting 42% steel cost, making it indispensable in the infrastructure and industrial growth. Okay, so it is not usually used for electricity generation, it is used for steel production. Okay, so applications in steel production is coke or metallurgical coke created through the high temperature carbonization of coking coal plays a crucial role in steel making. It is used in blast furnaces to produce pig iron, serving as both a reducing agent of iron ore and structural support for the furnace in charge. Okay, so it is not used in electricity producing, but it is used in producing the blast furnaces. Okay, where in the blast furnaces the iron ores are cleared and the pig iron is produced. The largest producer of coking coal in the world is China, then comes Australia, then Russia, USA and Canada. Okay, so what about India? So in India has a vast reserves of coking coal, but despite that, the reliance it relies on the imports. That is, out of 100%, 85% of coal is imported. So it is import dependent is high. India's coking coal imports for the first 6 months of the current fiscal year were at a 6-year high of 29.6 million tons, with the shipment from Russia witnessing a substantial rise of over 200% during this period. So we are focusing, or we are reliant more on the imports. So what are the challenges? Okay, what are the challenges in domestic coal production, domestic coking coal production? Because we have the adequate resource, but even then we are not able to produce it. The reasons are inefficiency in coal washeries. What are these coal washeries? These are the large industry kind of things where they are used for clarifying or purifying the coal reserves. Okay, purifying the coal ores. Okay, when you purify the coal, and then they can be used for the further purposes. And then washeries operate at a less than 32% capacity. Okay, less than 32% capacity, with washer coal yields only 35 to 36%. Okay, in contrast, private washeries achieve 75% of capacity utilization and higher yields, so showcasing the need for improved efficiency in PSU washeries. So the efficiency is very low in public washeries. Just compare it with the private, they have 75% capacity utilization. Here only 32% capacity utilization is there. So there should be certain measures so that this efficiency can be improved. And we are highly import dependent. Integrated steel plants imported around 58 million metric tons of coking coal at an enormous cost of 1.5 lakh crores in 2020-24, despite the significant domestic reserves. This is mainly because of inefficient coal reserve washeries. And then, what are the key recommendations from NITI Aayog report? NITI Aayog report titled that we should focus on these and this, so that we reduce the we can increase the domestic production and reduce import. It says that we should recognize the coking coal as critical mineral. So we'll understand what is critical mineral later, but we'll say that this will align with India. This will align India with the global practices such as European Union, which recognizes coking coal as a critical mineral. So designating it as a critical can justify policy support to boost domestic production and ensure security for Indian steel sector. If we recognize it as a critical mineral, then we can provide fundings, we can provide interest subventions, etc. schemes for the steel companies. The leveraging domestic reserves. India holds around 5.13 billion tons of prime coking coal and 16.5 billion tons of medium quality reserves. These resources should be fully utilized considering the country's net zero 2070 commitments and economic needs. So there is a need for change in policy and structure as well. So amending the Coal Bearing Areas Act 1957, that is to ensure that the special purpose vehicles under PPP model or PPP arrangements can retain the operational rights even after the majority of ownership shifts to the private sector. Okay, what happens is whenever you are trying to dig a coal mine, whenever you are trying to explore a coal mines, you will actually start with the special purpose vehicles. They will be doing the initial work. They will be exploring the minerals, they will be exploring the coals, and then they will be extracting the coal. And then once the setup is completed, the rights are transferred to the private entities. So here they are saying that even after the completion of the work, even after completion of the initial work, they should retain certain operational cost. Okay, so that there can be more efficiency. We should also facilitate byproduct sales. Okay, coking coal production has certain byproducts. Those byproducts should also be utilized. Those byproducts should also be sold so that we can get economic gains out of it. Ministry of Coal must enable joint ventures to sell byproducts, which are middling and tailings from washeries, benefiting steel plants with a lower coking coal expenses. Okay, if you are even selling the byproducts, then it will have economic impacts, economic gains for the steel companies. What are the critical minerals? Critical minerals are a mineral is critical when the risk of supply shortage, when there is a risk of supply shortage, and it is associated impact on the economy is relatively higher than the other raw materials. Meaning they are low, they are critical, and they have higher impact on government economy. Okay, a country's economy. These are such as lithium, graphite, cobalt, titanium, and rare earth elements form part of the multiple strategic value chains, including they are used in clean technologies, information and communications technologies, advanced manufacturing inputs and materials. Meaning they are very critical, and there is a risk of shortage, as well as they have a huge impact on governments or countries' economy. In India, there are 30 minerals have been recognized as critical in India, such as lithium, graphite, cobalt, titanium, etc. So this is about this article. Now the final article is International Cooperative Alliance. So it was present. This article was present in PIB. So India is set to host the International Cooperative Alliance Global Cooperative Conference in Delhi this month. Okay, so we'll understand what is International Cooperative Alliance. So it will mark the first time in 130-year history of ICA that ICA General Assembly and Global Cooperative Conference are being held in India. Meaning the history of more than 130 years. This is the first time they are going to attend in India. About International Cooperative Alliance. It was established in 1895 to unite, represent, and serve cooperatives globally. It represents 315 cooperative federations and organizations from the 107 countries. It is estimated to represent around 1 billion individuals worldwide across the various sectors like agriculture, banking, fisheries, health, housing, insurance, and more. Okay, meaning it is a cooperatives. What are cooperatives? Like these are the cooperatives which are formed by the people itself. Okay, so estimated to that is, and it has held consultative status with the UN Economics and Social Council, that is ECOSOC, since 1947, making it the first NGO to receive this status, that is consultative status. And it is the custodian of traditionally internationally recognized definition, values, and principles of cooperatives. So structure is the governing board consists of a 20-member board which is responsible for overseeing the activities. There is a general assembly which is the highest governing authority with representative form member organization convened at least annually. So they will have a meeting at least once in a year. ICA is divided into 4 regional organizations. Those are India, ICA Asia Pacific with headquartered in New Delhi, ICA Africa with Nairobi, Kenya, Cooperatives Europe in Brussels, Belgium, and ICA Americas in San Jose, Costa Rica. San Jose, Costa Rica. So there are 8 sectoral organizations representing cooperatives in various fields such as agriculture, banking, fisheries, and other things. 5 thematic committees focus on cooperative development, economic sustainability, social responsibility, and advocacy. Okay, so powers and functions of ICS are it representatives. It is the it represents cooperatives in international forums, particularly within the United Nations and other multilateral organizations. Meaning it provides a bargaining power to cooperatives around the world. Influences international policies related to social and economic development and sustainable cooperative business. It promotes and defines cooperative identity globally, ensuring that cooperatives adhere to internationally recognized principles. It collects and publishes data about the cooperative sector via reports like World Cooperative Monitor and ICA Global 300 Index. Okay, so what is important here is whether it is an agency of United Nations, whether it is an organ of United Nations, it is neither. Okay, it only has a consultative status, and India is a member of this one. And now New Delhi is the regional head of Asia International Cooperative Alliance Asia Pacific. So these are certain articles which we decided to discuss for today's news analysis. If you have any doubts and if you wanted any new articles to be discussed, do write in the comment box. We can discuss in the coming classes. Okay, if you have any doubts, you can also write in the comment box. Do appreciate the videos, do like the videos and comment, write in the comment box, and also share with your friends. Okay, with this I will end the video. Jai Hind.